from recent studies, no, actually recent European studies, they were mapping, no, let's say for semiconductors, no, these are yung mga hardware components and elements like general purpose processors, silicon chipsets, RF, and foundry, no. In a traditional RAN until 4G, no, even 5G, no, these are designed by one vendor. Okay, or maybe they would be getting chips from other vendors, no, but and chipsets, no, but they would make it as a product of their own, and you could only buy that for from a specific vendor for deployment in your RAN. And when Europe basically attempted to map, no, saan sila magaling dito, may color coding pala, no. So yung European status, red is mahina sila, yellow is meron sila somewhat, no. And then there's green na they are good at it, no. So they are mapping various vendors here, no. Like for chips, they have Infineon, Calray, and ST Micro, no. And but they also added, no, yung other non-European major players, no. Like of course for chips na GTP, you have AMD and Intel. For specialized silicon, nandiyan yung mga Broadcom, but Intel also does that. Marvell, Nvidia, Qualcomm, Xilinx. For RF, it's Qualcomm and Xilinx. And then for foundry, you have Intel, Samsung, and TSMC. So their findings was, well, Europe would have some promising startups, no, but medyo small and fragmented pa sila. So this basically tells them that those companies, those industries need support, no? So they might be able to give a tax break or importation benefits, no, for other products, or maybe reduce employment complexity, no, if they're gonna hire engineers specific for that red basically industry, no? So yeah, yun yung typical format nito, no. So next we have RAN hardware. Just skip dun sa recta na, no. And ito na-identify din nila na okay, sa radio units with active antenna, orange, yellow sila, no. But sa DUs and small cells, no, medyo mahina si Europe. Okay. And then yung full RAN elements, Nokia lang yung meron sila. Well, hindi pala lang, no. Nokia is a big player, no. But with Open RAN, no, they would have to catch up because they would also have to maintain yung old deployment nila. And now they have to spawn a different maybe division, no, to handle Open RAN. Because if the big players like Nokia, Ericsson, and Huawei, no, would not want to embrace Open RAN, mapapag-iwanan sila. No, I mean Nokia was already left out sa phone industry, no, sa customer phone deployments with Android and iPhone. So ito na yung market segment nila for now. So they would want to support Nokia para maka-develop ng Open RAN. So again, this maps out saan sila mahina, saan sila magaling, and where do these companies and organizations need more support. So RAN software, ito yung mga baseband components, RAN intelligent controller, and SMOs. Ito medyo yellow sila. Maraming companies, no, that supports internally within European Union for this. And then they have, of course, yung mga major non-European players, no. So could you imagine na even VMware, no, is playing in RAN intelligent controller field. And we have some of here existing, no, like management orchestration, Amdocs, may local representation tayo, and Samsung is also on that field. So basically, yung nakita nila is most of the trials and deployments, no, were done by US companies, no. Altostar, Mavenir Parallel Wireless. Okay. Then they have development by US and Japanese companies like NEC and Amdocs. With very limited activity from Nokia, Ericsson, Capgemini, no, but they're also trying to do it. Next, of course, yung cloud part of Open RAN. They were saying, no, pag cloud hardware, it's gonna be the usual vendors, no? Dell, HP, Contron, Samsung, Lenovo, Vapor.io. And Red Sea European kasi, well, apparently they are not that big on manufacturing cloud hardware, no? But for software, no, Canonical, the makers of Ubuntu is European, and SUSE Linux too. But they have competitions kay abroad, no? VMware, Red Hat, Google, Microsoft. And then for the cloud, of course, we haven't heard of OVH Cloud, but we've heard din some major non-European players, no? So AWS, Microsoft, Azure, Google, IBM, and Oracle, actually not so much, no? But they are players, no? At least sa US side, they are players na realize ni Open RAN na ni European na mahina sila talaga. Okay. Next we have services where this one, di ba, saan sila pwedeng mag-play, no, if services yung gusto nila, and they found that, well, for SI and testing, no, they are good, no? Well, there are other major non-European companies like Accenture, NEC, IBM, HP, Tech Mahindra, and TCS that does it, no? For SI, no? But yeah, they found at least system integration testing, they're good, but yellow sila sa enterprise services. And the main players here would be Google, Microsoft, and Cisco. Right? So yeah, you could see they are trying to map out where they could help yung industry. Open RAN. Kasi they expect, no, na by 2026, which is roughly 2 years from now, no, Open RAN will account for a substantial portion of 5G system integration market globally. So that's around 13.3 billion euros in total segment. Yung SM market is 13.3, but yung total segment worth is 27.7 billion euros. At least that's their prediction last year. No? Hopefully that still stays. So yun yung the services industry would really fly off. No? And of course, you have development. And this, of course, consists mga open ecosystems in Europe. And not sure why walang graph, no, but basically we're able to identify 13 major open RAN players in Europe compared to 57 non-European counterparts. So it's not bad, but it's slow, no? It's slow compared to the non-European, which is 57. They basically have maybe 1/5, no, of the market share. But Europe is a big chunk, no, of advanced tech, no, and they wanted of course a chunk of the revenue rin.